Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're reviewing episode 1 of the Crusade, which is called The Lion. This is the first time I've ever started watching the Crusade, just because it hasn't been the easiest thing to get a hold of with 2 episodes missing. It is, of course, the only story in season 2 that is not complete, with episodes 2 and 4 missing. But today we are going to be talking about episode 1. Now, the quality of the film is not the best, and I could see people who don't know any better kind of criticizing the box set of, well, they don't look that much better, episode 1 of the Crusade, but I am aware of the circumstances surrounding the Lion, about its recovery in '99, and that it wasn't in the best of shape when it was recovered. It was in a bit rough shape. I don't think they were able to vid fire it at the time, and I'm not sure if they have now. I mean, I know they're working off the '99 scan. This is not a fresh scan. The actual episode, I believe, is actually here in America now. Plus, they were concerned the damage to it might have gotten worse in the 20 years since it was scanned. I know it had a really bad crease on it at one spot, apparently, that they're worried might have gotten worse, and that it just wasn't worth the financial effort to rescan it. And so they're working off the '99 scan, doing what they can to improve things here. And you can tell in some scenes it does look a little rough. One of the early on fights when Ian's fighting one of the Egyptian guys, some of that looks rough. Then there's times when, say, here's the TV. On this side, there's the color's kind of shifting or banding. I don't know if that's the right word. But the color is off right here. It's kind of moving. It's really hard to explain, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Where it's kind of shifting right here. It doesn't look quite right in some scenes. Something you definitely notice when you're looking at it. All of that being said, though, it's fine because it's a miracle we have the episode at all. And I'm glad that it does exist so I can watch it. So knowing all of that, I wasn't judging it too harshly. The audio sounds good. I don't know if that's the audio from the original piece or if that's like Graham Strong's audio just played over it. Either way, it sounds good. The story itself, it was okay. I liked it. I didn't quite get as wrapped into it as I thought I would because I tend to love medieval stuff. You know, I'm a big King Arthur fan, stuff like that. Knights of the Round Table and armored knights and sword fighting. I like all that kind of stuff. So. But I liked it. The first part, it took me a minute to get into it when King Richard, wonderfully played by Julian Glover, is talking at the beginning with some of the other knights before they get ambushed. I had trouble connecting with their dialogue. It's like I had this impression they were saying their lines without knowing what they meant. Which might not be on them, that might just be on me because you kind of like it. I've talked about when I'm listening to Big Finish and I start a new story, it takes me a minute to adjust to what's going on. I get really confused at first and I'm like, okay, what is going on? And then I acclimate, sometimes quicker than others. I kind of had that here where it took me a second to acclimate to the story. After the initial ambush, I pretty much was there. I was good. I did like the one knight pretending to be Richard to protect Richard when he's like, all right, y'all found me. And so they take him instead thinking he's Richard. That was really cool. That was a very, Knight's Code thing to do to protect his king. I did enjoy that scene. The actor playing him does a good job. I do like most of the guest cast in this. I love the scene when the doctor steals the clothes out of the guy's shop. When he realizes the clothes are stolen in the first place and sold to the guy. He's like, well, they can be stolen again, so he passes them off to Vicky. I enjoyed that scene. A little bit of filler, but I liked it. Barbara got taken a little easier than I thought she would. To me, Barbara's a fighter. I feel like she would have fought a little harder. The fact they were able to grab her without her making a noise and Ian not noticing, that feels a little TV tropey to me, that she couldn't put up some kind of struggle, especially since it's Barbara, and Barbara's pretty strong-willed. So I'm surprised they took her so easily. Then again, those guys could have been a dangerous group, Put a sword to your throat, stay quiet. You just stay quiet. Julian Glover is usually pretty good. He's a little theatrical sometimes, which, again, Doctor Who at this point is basically a televised play, and it is, recorded basically live like a play. They film pretty much in sequential order now at this time. So he has a little of the over-top theatrics going on at times, and other times I feel like he's just really, really on it. He's good in the role regardless. The guy playing, is it Sheladon? The guy playing the ruler of the Egyptians, I like him. The actor has a really good charisma and presence. It's like, here in episode 1, I can't quite tell if he's a good guy or a bad guy, or if he's kind of in the middle. He seems like he has his own kind of code of honor, while at the same time, you don't want to cross him. The actor does a really good job portraying that when he's talking with the guy who had been impersonating Richard, and of course Barbara, who was impersonating Richard's sister, Joanna. So I like that scene when, of course, the guy, but Celadon, is that his name? When he knows it's not Richard, because he knows what Richard looks like, and he knows it's not Joanna, because he knows what Joanna looks like. And that whole conversation he has with him, when he tells him at the end, treat him, I forget what he doesn't say freedom, give him all the freedoms except freedom. To treat him well, treat him like my brother, but don't let him go. And then, he talks to Barbara saying, what use are you to me? If you can prove your use to me, then I have need of you. But if I don't have need of you, why? And he says it he doesn't say it maliciously or evilly or mustache twirlingly. He states it as the fact that it is. And I felt like the actor playing him did a really good job. Again, I like the charisma and presence that the character has. I always appreciate things like that. So I enjoyed it. It kind of, for 24 minutes, it kind of flew by fast. And I know the next episode is a recon. But I was surprised how fast it went through. But I'm glad it exists, and I was able to watch it and get kind of, invested in the story, find out what's going on. I do like Ian trying to talk to Richard about helping Barbara, and Richard's frustrated about the day he's had, so he doesn't want to hear it. And Ian's trying to be civil, like, Your Majesty. I like that, because Ian doesn't really strike me as someone who has patience for that kind of stuff. So I enjoy it. I did enjoy it. Again, I'm not quite just, best of season 2 or anything like that. But, I'm also like, well, it's definitely not the Web Planet. So I've also been watching some of the behind the sofas for stories I've already seen. I watched the behind the sofa for Invasion of Earth, The Rescue, The Romans, and The Web Planet. Those are always fun watches. I love Behind the Sofa. I love that Wendy, before they started The Web Planet, she's like, I've got high hopes for this one. And I'm sitting there going, oh dear. That was funny. I've definitely enjoyed the Behind the Sofas so far. Those are always fun. I always love when you have Team TARDIS 5 there. I wish Davison was there, but he might have been doing like other stuff at the time for other Doctor Who stuff. But I love that. Of course, I love having Janet there. Janet's always great. But yeah, I definitely enjoy the Behind the Sofas. So, I want to know what you think of the Behind the Sofas and what you think of The Lion. So comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, click the like button and the subscribe button. And the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon if you like what I do and would like to contribute to what I do. There's a link to that down in the description below as well. That does help me pay the bills. I also want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Finn Perkins, and Colin Coney. I appreciate their continued support as I do the support of all of my patrons. My P.O. box is down there if there is anything you would like to send me to look at and review. It is Christmas time after all. And I also have a link to my Amazon wish list down there as well. Most importantly though, thank you for watching.